Hey guys, it's Hanya. I'm back today, and today is going to be part 3 of my stories. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's continue. How are you guys this week? What do you guys have planned? Let me know. I really am interested in getting to know how you guys live your life. I'm looking for a job this week, so wish me luck on that. So this week is gonna be part 2 of my story, or part 3, not 2, part 3 of my story, of kind of actions I took as a way to cope with being molested as a child. And that's gonna start with my senior year, so let's get right into it. Last time I was here talking about this, I brought up an app that I had, and that app is Grindr. You guys know it, but I coped with it in a way that I had to cope at the time, so I'm not upset of how I coped with it. I'm aware of what I did with that app, so I am moving forward from that. So a few weeks before senior year of high school, I met this guy on the app. His name was Max. And I was in such awe of this guy. I wanted to be with him, but time was not in our favor. Max was in college, and I was still in high school, and he went to college out of state. So if we were to start a relationship, it would have been long term, and it wasn't healthy for both of us, but either way, I was still emotionally upset about that because I felt like I was being abandoned again. A few weeks after I met him, I met this other guy named Kris because of my friend Hilton. And I've talked about Hilton before. Hilton's not his real name, but he will know who he is as a part of this story. So, yeah, Hilton and I were hanging out one night, and we decided to hit up this guy, Kris. I knew him as this drug dealer at the time. Kris didn't really want to meet my friend Hilton, but Hilton said that he had a friend with him, and so Kris asked if Hilton would give a picture of this friend, which was me. So we took a picture of me, and after that, Kris decided to come over. So me, Hilton, and Kris were hanging out, and we smoked. I got Chris's Snapchat. I was like, oh, I could use this as a future dealer if I ever need a pickup from him. Yada, yada, yada. So that's what we did. And I started hanging out with Kris a little bit more. First time I hung out with him, we got sexual, and I got a message from Max during it. So I took a picture of myself and sent it to Max. Well, it wasn't just of myself, it was of me and this other dude, shirtless in the dude's bed, in Chris's bed. And I put a caption underneath on Snapchat saying, things got a little out of hand. And I knew that was immature right away, and I was doing it to get his attention, but I didn't really realize that that was a pattern in my life of me doing things to get guys' attention that's going to turn them away from me. So I didn't really have love for myself in a sense. Anywho, we started, or the day before senior year, there was this solar eclipse. Me and my friends decided to get drunk and celebrate the solar eclipse. Probably the only one I'm gonna see in my life, so that was probably a waste of a solar eclipse. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so the solar eclipse, well, none of us were of the age of 21 to go get it, so we went to Target, and all my friends were too scared to go inside and actually steal, so I was the one who went in, stole the bottle. I think we bought paper plates to make it seem like we were buying something. And then we left and we got drunk. However, we also had Kris coming over with a bottle of vodka. So we got one thing of vodka and we were getting another thing of vodka. As well as marijuana. So we were drinking that and then we started smoking. And that was just something that I did because I felt like I needed to live up to other people's expectations or get them what they wanted. Pretty much giving more than I can take. Which is clearly an issue for me. You'll see more throughout this. Well, anyway, a few weeks later, it was the first game of football for our team, and they came and hung out at, we were at the football game, and my friends dipped out on me and decided to smoke without me, and I felt upset about that, and didn't know really how to admit it to the other people. So what I did was, the next day, they had not smoked all the blunts, and my friend, Sophie, she had one in her purse, and she was not the one who paid for it, but she was like, Cal, if you don't tell anyone. And this is after me pressuring her a crap ton, saying, Abby, we need to smoke that blunt with me because, like, you guys dipped out on me last night. Like, it's kind of unfair. Like, you guys would smoke without me. And she was like, okay, yeah, we can smoke. Fine. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously not too happy about it, but not gonna do anything to tell me no. And so, yeah. We smoked that blunt. A few weeks later, me, Hilton, and Kris were hanging out at Chris's house, and Hilton was upset, Hilton was talking, we were all drunk, and Hilton brought up the whole idea of how this blunt went missing, how no one knows where it is, and I told on myself. I was like, yeah, I convinced Abby to smoke it with me, and she lied to you about it because she was protecting me, in a sense, and, like, I know I'm not supposed to tell you this because, like, it could ruin your friendship with her, and, like, she asked me not to, but I don't really care. And after that, Sophie definitely got mad at me. We stopped talking for a bit. Hilton, was like, Sophie said, find your own ride. I wasn't too worried. I had taken the bus plenty of times before. I just didn't like waking up that early to take the bus. So going forward within that story, we had finally decided to go to bed, and Hilton had asked me to let him sleep next to Kris because he had a crush on Kris. And Kris was not really interested in him, being the reason why he did certain body positions as we were all laying in the bed. And I thought Hilton was sleeping. I had a little bit of a crush on Hilton at this time, and I wanted to cuddle with him. So I tried cuddling with him. He was not sleeping, but he acted like it, so I thought, like, oh, like, he's okay with, like, this, because he's sleeping, he's not gonna know. Which was not right of me. In the sense of consent, that was definitely not the right way for me to be going about it. But all I wanted to do was cuddle, and he was not comfortable with it. And I truthfully apologized for that. Knowing both of our histories, what I did was not right. I know that, but I have kind of been in denial about it for a long time. So, yeah, I haven't really apologized about that until now, because what I was doing, though my intentions were okay, the way I went about it was not okay. Let me get some water. Jeez. Anyway, so as a result of that night, I lost every single friend I had. Was not a fun time for me. Yeah, so after that, I started hanging out with Kris a lot more, because I knew that he had a thing for me and I could get free smokeouts. That was not an okay thing for me to do as well. I used him so that I could cope with my other emotions, knowing full well that I was manipulating his emotions so that I could get more out of the situation than what I intended to do moving forward with him. So, I'm sorry, Kris. It was not polite of me, and I know better, but I decided to act like I don't. Yeah, so a few weeks later, me and Sophie, around Christmas time, we became friends again. We had talked about everything that happened, and we realized a good portion of it was miscommunication, because even though I had told on myself and I had told everyone, like, hey, it wasn't just her idea, like, I kind of asked her to, things get lost in translation, and when you're upset, they also get lost. So me and Sophie became friends again, which had me and Hilton become friends again. Then we all kind of turned on Kris because he started cheaping us on weed. We were getting deals, but he was gypping us on how much we were getting. So, yeah. That was not, like, we cut him off because honestly, I didn't feel like he was being trustworthy. I broke up with him for the exact same reason. And we went forward. Another story of why drinking, like, stealing alcohol was not a good idea for me. I also did not know how to control my intake of liquor. So one night, I think this was in February, it was literally the day after I had finished a court date, and well, we stole alcohol, and we went to a hotel across the place from where I work at. So while we were there, I got so drunk to the point where, like, I was also trying to look for another release because I was not happy with who I was. I was experiencing emotions where I did not feel like I fit in, or did not feel like I could work through stuff with people, and I just wanted to have sex with someone, plain and simple. So in order to use my app, because my phone was out of service at this time, I walked to my work, and I knew the password to get the key to get into my work, but my workplace was closed. So getting in there was not a good idea. And because of that, the cops got called and I got detained. So I was making decisions that were negatively impacting my life, even though I was choosing to not see it that way. At this time, I was also in the library, and I started to reconnect with spirituality. I wouldn't say I was fully connected with spirituality yet, but I started to reconnect with my spirituality and my roots, and just started doing a lot of that inner work that I needed to do. While doing all of this, I was also smoking and whatnot, and not really seeing the bigger picture. So, moving forward from that, I think the next biggest change in my life was when I was being sent to rehab to the day before graduation. It was either 2 days or the day before graduation when I got sent to rehab. And when I got sent to rehab, I did not want to go whatsoever. But I had also been at my house for 30 days without my mom. She was in a place of fear, not knowing how to show me that she loved me, not understanding why I was so angry, just a lot of stuff going on with that. So she was in a place of fear because I was in a place where I did not know why I was acting the way I was acting. In all honesty, not a lot of us knew. But I closed myself off from receiving love from anyone, really. And that was something that really negatively impacted me for a lot of my life as well. So I got sent to rehab. I had been off my medication for a little too long. I went off purposely. I am still not on medication to this day unless it's for my physical health. So what I said last time, medication was not for me. It was not my thing. The medication they had me on was not okay for my mental health. It helped me suppress my emotions, but not so much actually experience them, unless they came out as rage and anger. So, after a little bit of time, the night before I got sent to rehab, I had a guy come over. This was Max, as I had explained earlier. And we were talking on the phone while he was on his way to go see his family. And I made this comment. I was like, hey, you should come surprise me tonight. Like, we can hang out. And he was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. My mom's kind of waiting on me. I was like, it's okay. Like, we can make plans for another time. And so we made plans for Monday. But he ended up coming over and surprising me anyway. He scared me at first because surprises tend to scare me right away. But then after we hung out, and he went home, 2 hours later, I was taken to the psych ward. And I guess I will end here because that seems to... Oh, there's a few other things that happened with my senior year that could also... It's something that I did. I prostituted as a part of having sex. It was a way to exchange my pleasing for something in return. So yeah, I would get something, but I end up spending that money on weed and food. So that was just another issue I had with never feeling like I had enough of what I had and offering more of myself in order to get more of what I wanted. More of myself that, like, I should not have offered. I have no regrets for doing what I did, but if I could have done it a different way, I would have. But anyway, tune back in this Thursday. I will be singing This Is Me by Kesha. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Next Sunday, I will be going over, after I got sent to the psych ward, and kind of what happened within the following year of that. But I love you guys. Peace, peace.